If shoulder pain keeps you from sleeping at night, or if you wake up with a sore shoulder, then this video is for you. I'll share 3 sleeping positions to help you sleep more comfortably, plus give you 2 tips to use in the morning if you happen to wake up with shoulder pain. So let's get started. The first sleeping position is going to be for people who sleep on the side of their sore shoulder. This is one of the most common times when people have shoulder pain, when they're laying directly on top of it. There are a couple of reasons for that. Number one, the ball gets jammed into the socket because all your body weight is bearing down on it. And number two, the rotator cuff tendons get stretched tightly across the shoulder joint. So here's a tip to resolve it. Number one is to put your arm out like this and roll slightly backwards. This way you're lying more with your pressure on the shoulder blade rather than compressing the ball directly into the socket, or rather compressing the socket down into the ball. Now, if this doesn't work for you, you can also try taking a pillow and hugging it like this. This helps keep your arm in a better position where it is out in front of you and not tightly tucked up underneath like that. Yet another tip for sleeping on the sore side is to take a towel or a small pillow and put it underneath your waist like this. When you're lying on your side without anything underneath here, you have pinpoint pressure on your shoulder and your hip, and you've got this gap right under here. By filling that gap with a towel roll it up like this, shove it underneath there in that soft spot between your pelvis and your rib cage, and then lie down like this, reach the arm forward, and then kind of hug a pillow to keep it in place. That is another way that you can help relieve shoulder pain. Now, another thing to keep in mind is the pillow that your head is on. You want to make sure that it's an adequate size, that it's not too thin where your head is draping down like that, and it's not too thick where it's being pushed upwards. If your neck is not adequately supported in a neutral position, that can pinch the nerves on the side of the shoulder, particularly if your neck drapes down too far. And pinched nerves in the lower part of your neck, particularly the C5 nerve, can actually radiate pain into your shoulder. And so you can actually get shoulder pain when sleeping that comes from your neck. So that's the case of if you're sleeping on the side of your sore shoulder. But what if this is your sore shoulder? What if you're sleeping on this side but the top shoulder is sore? Well, actually hugging a pillow works pretty well in this case as well. If your arm is hanging down by your side like this, your shoulder is in a position of horizontal adduction and often internal rotation. A position like this kind of narrows the space where the rotator cuff tendons attach and can pinch the rotator cuff tendons. Now, by putting a pillow underneath of your arm, it gives those tendons a little bit of space. It also puts them on a little bit of slack rather than being stretched over the shoulder like this. It often does help to fold this pillow to make it a little bit thicker, and that gives you even a little bit more space yet. So that's the case of if your shoulder pain is on the top shoulder. Now, what if you're a back sleeper? What if you lie on your back and you get shoulder pain when you're sleeping on your back? Again, you want to make sure you have adequate neck support. If your neck's arched too much like that, or if it's pushed too high, that can cause referral into your shoulder from the nerves in your neck. Another tip that you can use is taking a rolled up towel and shoving it in your pillow. This actually works well if you're sleeping on your side or if you're sleeping on your back. So kind of shove it right at the base there. You may have to vary with how thick or how thin you roll it. But then if you're sleeping on your side, it supports your neck nicely like this. If you're sleeping on your back, it kind of fills the gap where your neck is, helps keep your neck in a nice neutral position. Now take another pillow and put it underneath your arm like this. You want it to kind of bend underneath your elbow. There are a few reasons for this. Number one is if your elbow falls too far backwards, that can drive your shoulder forwards and cause an anterior glide of the shoulder. That can start to pinch on the rotator cuff tendons if the ball goes too far forward in the socket. Now, as your elbow comes forward, the shoulder glides backwards in the socket. So by having a little bit of pillow underneath of it, like this, that helps pull the elbow forwards, which brings the shoulder back into the socket. It also gives you a nice support like this, which gives you some abduction of your shoulder, meaning bringing it out to the side. Much like lying on your side, if the elbow is tucked in too closely to your body, then that stretches the rotator cuff tendons across your shoulder joint and can make them get a little bit irritated. By putting the pillow underneath your elbow and then also kind of draping up like this, it gives you some space in here so that those rotator cuff tendons aren't stretched quite so tightly across the shoulder joint. So those were the 3 sleeping positions to help out if you happen to have shoulder pain when you're sleeping at night. But what if you do wake up and your shoulder is sore when you wake up in the morning? Well, here are a couple tips that you can use to help relieve shoulder pain when you wake up in the morning. Let's say first thing when you get out of bed, if you've been sleeping with or without a pillow and you happen to notice that your shoulder is a little bit sore, roll over onto the side that is not sore. If you happen to wake up on this side, it's great. If this is the sore shoulder, roll over so the sore shoulder is on top. Now before you even get out of bed, just rotate your arm up like this a little bit and then reach up this way. This does a couple of things. One, it externally rotates your shoulder after being in a position of internal rotation all night long. And then when you bring your arm up like this, thumb backwards and going back like this, it pulls your shoulder blade backwards and helps stretch out your chest muscles. Now, if that's too inconvenient for you to do lying down, you can also do it sitting up. So externally rotate like this, then pull the shoulder blades back so you're spreading your chest muscles. This is also good if you have pain in both shoulders when you wake up. So external rotation here, squeeze the shoulder blades back together, chest up. This stretches out your chest muscles and keeps them from pulling you into a rounded shoulder position like that. It also puts your shoulder in more external rotation where you're not as likely to pinch the rotator cuff tendons. So that's an exercise to use when you wake up. But using self-massage can also be a good way to help get your shoulder to stop hurting. 2 of the main trigger points that are easy to reach on your own and also help relieve shoulder pain fast are your pectoralis minor, which is located right here, and then your teres minor and teres major, which are located right underneath the armpit. To treat your pectoralis minor, you'll just take your fingers and put them just off the ball of your shoulder and in towards your chest. You may feel a little bump right here. If you don't, that's okay. Just kind of move your fingers around here, and it's very likely that you may feel a stiff or sore spot. Find that stiff or sore spot, find where it's the most stiff, most sore, and then just hold a gentle pressure on there. Hold for about 2 to 3 minutes. This helps release the muscle and helps make you less stiff so that you can come out of that rounded shoulder position that you've been in all night long and open up your shoulders a little bit better. This will help prevent you from impinging or pinching the rotator cuff tendons. Another one that's really helpful, and one that I use a lot actually, is reaching underneath your arm here and kind of pinching the little piece of meat that's in here. The teres minor is right underneath your armpit. Right below that is your teres major, and then your lats are a little bit farther down below that. Any of those can actually cause shoulder pain, but start as close as you can reach to your armpit. Kind of find if you feel a sore spot. If you don't, move down a little bit and feel for another sore spot. It's very common for people to get tight, sore muscles in these areas, but they can actually refer pain out into your shoulder. Now, if you happen to find one, pinch on it and hold a gentle pressure there for 2 to 3 minutes, and that often can help relieve shoulder pain when you wake up in the morning. Now, another way to help trigger points in your shoulder when you wake up in the morning is using a massage gun. And you can learn how to do that in this video over here. Or if you'd like to learn more exercises for shoulder pain, check out this video over here. But before you go check those out, if you found this one helpful, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to our channel so you can get notified of our future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.